But are you playing it?
Not yet. Welcome to YellBro Road. I am Jordan, and today we're gonna watch a.
Josh is gonna go put something in the fridge. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Josh is gonna do what he's fucking told.
And today, we're not gonna start the video until Josh puts what his wife told him to put back in the fridge. We'll wait.
Nobody watches past the first 20 seconds of Jordan's video, so it's like we've already fucked it up.
Go watch some fucking
Just
Netflix.
restart it.
Put the shit in the fridge. Come back. Go watch some Netflix. Okay.
Restart it, dude.
Anyways,
Take two.
Welcome to YellBro Road. I am Jordan, and today
Thank you.
we're gonna watch some gaming stuff, but it actually includes like a scandal. I've watched this video, by the way. It's quite interesting. If you know about Logan Paul and some of his, to me, like Ponzi schemes, essentially, you will find this interesting. But first, don't forget to share, support, hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Also, please check out the Discord link if you want to join that. We are in that Discord right now. All opinions are welcome. And obviously, everything I show you will be linked in that same description box, including this, the almost right hand from hell from Ilhan Omar. Now, thankfully, nothing like actually like physically harmful happened, other than I guess the guy. But I don't want anyone to be hurt. But you know, it wasn't like acid, right? I think it was apple cider vinegar. I think it was the actual substance in the syringe, in like a baby syringe. So thus, because nothing horrendous happened, I can kind of laugh about it. But either way, here you go.
Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face...
Resign? Look at her. She's like, bitch, what? What, bitch? What's up? Where you going, huh? She called him an asshole. Now, I'm sorry, bro, but it is what it is. That shit is like, first of all, her voice crack is beautiful. Kristi Noem is fucking hilarious. And then this guy with a baby syringe shoots apple cider vinegar at her, allegedly. And she like occupies the space like, what's up? What'd you do? Huh? What's up? He's ready to hit this fool, apparently. Here we go. One more time. Here we go.
Impeachment.
It's the Africom mom in her. I thought she would have taken off her shoe too.
Must resign.
She's like, fuck you.
No, wait. You're missing
Fuck you.
Resign? You're missing that shit. Listen.
Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment.
She's like, what? Excuse me? She's ready to hit this fool, bro.
Dude is fucking liquored hard, bro.
Oh, there's videos of this guy. Listen, I get why people are calling this shit staged. I don't know. I don't think so, actually, personally, but like, who knows?
We will continue. These fucking assholes are not gonna get away with it.
Yeah, whoever that is.
Yeah, it's like the fucking asshole's not gonna steal the message.
That's sus, bro.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
sus.
well, what was the message? No one's asking that.
Well, it's about
was
Minnesota, right? And DHS and all that stuff. Yeah, apparently. Who knows? But
I think it's a little beyond that. I mean, yes, that, but
Yo, are you gonna
Fair
play
enough.
the fucking Karl Jobst video? Because
you know,
I was gonna go watch Fallout.
Listen. I know your mic can't compute past 10 seconds, but be patient, okay?
That's
The
being
Gen Z
generous.
one.
10
We're
seconds
getting
is
there.
Generous.
We're getting there. Don't worry. But I thought that
In the same video? What does that have to do with fucking Ilhan Omar?
it's news stories
Nothing.
that exist. And yes, actually, you know what? They do connect. As far as shit we don't like happening out loud. But anyways,
Okay.
There we
Okay.
go.
I like this. Is this a new series?
that's right.
Oh my god.
Let's keep it moving. The next story. But this is like weird. I don't know enough details, but it's just weird. Now we go to this.
Yeah.
And this is a precursor to another Andrew Wilson clip. Here we go. Here we go.
I'll try to rephrase this. I'm going to reframe. And I'm just going to be totally honest with you. I will never be able to convince you of my worldview.
You won't.
I know. But the reason is
Why would
not
you say that?
because I'm not a great orator or I don't make good points or I haven't said things which should be compelling to a person. But Charlie, I just think honestly you're too fucking stupid to understand them.
So Andrew,
that's
can
crazy.
I sell you on my worldview?
Yes.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies and has been married twice before.
And you
under
you lick sniz.
Under your religion.
You like sniz?
You lick sniz.
What is that?
You're a fucking dyke. Don't talk shit about my.
Hey, listen. I like sniz too. Okay, so why are we hating on this, Andrew Wilson?
What's sniz?
Wait, what the fuck is
feelings
sniz?
hurt. Buddy.
A snook in the
Feelings hurt.
sniz? Come on.
What is
What's
a
that?
snook and a sniz, my man?
Shout to Hillary
I
Clinton.
need it.
Shout to her. But shout to South Park too.
What is it?
Pussy.
What is it?
Anyways, let's continue.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sniz is vagina.
Yes.
That's funny.
Go watch a snook in the sniz.
Yo, but did you
Hillary
see how
Clinton
you see how he flinched when she said it, bro? Go back. He fucking flinches as soon as she says like your baby mama or something.
Dude, there should
He
have.
flinches.
It's so white here. I can't even see where my fucking timeline bar is. I can't even see it. Okay, let's go there. But like, let's be real.
It's pure.
He's debate broing, right? She is debate sissing, if you will. Like they're debating each other. They're going for wins at each other, right? Rather than
But
like
she
being
is
real.
fucking like way
Yeah,
smarter.
this is grimy. This is
She
dirty.
is
but,
way
I
on
mean,
a
his
whole nother
reaction's
level
funny.
than this motherfucker.
I don't know that. I don't know that.
In
I don't know that prop. Sorry.
confidence and in knowledge.
I don't know that. I did not listen to this entire debate. I've seen this portion, I believe, or I've heard of this portion at the very least.
She's a pretty bright person.
Okay, fair enough, but like, we'll say. All right, here we go.
Totally honest with you. I will never be able to convince you of my worldview.
You won't.
I know.
Why would you say that?
But the reason is not because I'm not a great orator.
Because she's a lesbian.
Or I don't make good points. Or I haven't said things which should be compelling to a person. But Charlie, I just think honestly you're too fucking stupid to understand them.
So Andrew, can I sell you on my worldview?
Yes.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies and has been married twice before.
And you
under
you lick sniz.
That definitely got him.
Religion.
You lick sniz.
Went back
You're
to
a
the
fucking
playground.
dyke. Don't talk shit about my wife, you stupid bitch. Shut your fucking mouth.
Yeah,
Shut your stupid bitch mouth.
She hit something.
Your wife?
She hit something in the psychological realm.
Yeah, for sure. You got mad. Mad.
Yeah,
Real quick.
he
It was
got
a switch.
moved.
They go to that. They go to the bitch word real quick and they're fucking hurt your feelings.
His wife ended up responding
stupid
to all
fucking
this in the
bitch.
public too.
Yo.
He works for
Fucking
Temple.
wife.
Like I'm
Shout to the Joker in the Dark Knight.
Oh yeah, that's
Son.
fun.
He plug.
he went back to a time and like on the playground when someone's like, "Your mother's a whore," and he's like, "What? You're a bitch."
Your mother's right.
When there's something
He was
that
at
could
the
be
monkey
said.
bars.
Exactly. That's why I say that. Like,
Yeah.
there's something that can be said to make you move like that harshly, kind of. That means you got something to work on. Humble. I say that very humbly.
Yeah.
But all right, let's continue. Here we go. For the whole
Your
clip.
religion.
You lick sniz.
What is that?
You're a fucking dyke. Don't talk shit about
Yeah,
my
I can
wife,
see
you
his own
stupid
dad.
bitch. Shut your fucking mouth.
As the kids call it.
Look at her eyebrows. She's like, "I got
Your
you,
wife with the
motherfucker."
3
Oh
baby
Yeah,
my
daddies.
God.
considering him.
Your
She's
wife
like,
with the
no.
3
Sorry,
baby
I'm sorry,
daddies.
dyke. Is she morally inconsequential in comparison to your ditch licking?
Whoa.
Do the men that you try to
Ditch
do the women
licking.
that you
She knows.
try to
She knows she got.
hatred
It.
Do you
against them?
That's the other
Yeah.
part of this is that she knows she got him to move, and she's playing with it, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
also to me debate cis in this case.
Yeah.
Bullshitting to me. It's also like, let's get down to like humanity. If it's not strictly about winning, it should be about something like real. I hope. But
The deeper humanity.
she's
This
like,
is
I
real,
got
bro.
you.
This is
She's like,
humanity.
I
This
got
is
you.
real.
Bro,
Like
but
this
isn't
is
that
human
real?
too.
Isn't that
This-
real? Watching him crack, isn't that fucking
Yep.
real?
Yes, but what's your point of making him crack? Is it to be like, hey man, you got some shit?
No, he's full of shit.
Well, it's like
Because it's
the shit
debate shit.
you may have
the
some
shit
shit
he's
to work on,
preaching.
right?
The shit he's preaching
Well,
to
we
fucking
hope.
kids and
Schniz
fucking
licking,
incels
that's for sure.
that he's not living. Like, yeah,
But
that's
if
the point.
but if she cracks one day, then what does that mean in regards to this conversation? Now she's like erased from the scenario. And that's about him cracking and her cracking.
Yeah.
You know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
I mean, just because
I agree.
there's stuff wrong with
Oh.
her doesn't make her message or what the
No,
intent of
but
Well,
it's
I
like-
care about her and him.
Right?
And I'm like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, yo, what's her intentions? Is it to make him crack and look bad, or is it actually about
Might be.
making a point about
No.
the world and life
Yeah.
itself? Right?
But is the point of making him crack bad inherently?
If that's your only point, you have to.
Well.
You better be armed with something where it's like, hey, what is your point in doing all this?
Yeah, for sure. I guess it just
But
And
Yeah, you
Depending
end
how
up
deep
just
you can see
agitating
it.
him where he just gets
Right.
harder. He gets deeper into his shit.
Yeah, because it's like he's not going to
yeah,
just
but a
suddenly
lot of
turn.
times, but a
Go
lot
ahead.
of times too, there are like the people who might need like the most empathy, or the people who might seem like they need it the least. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's like
oh yes, projection wise.
so.
Oh yeah.
It's yeah. So it's like I do agree if it's like just to make him crack for like the show, whatever, which they all do.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like I don't know. It's almost
Yeah.
nihilistic. Like I don't like.
Yeah, it's not adding to it. It like
know.
it just makes it worse. It's nihilistic.
I'd personally call it boring
Well-
if it's just for the sake of winning an argument with this guy. But God, Jesse, sorry.
Yeah, she went after his wife, which I always think is unnecessary to go for family. But she
but the
had that in her
context.
back pocket, right?
Yeah.
She didn't just come up with that. She had that when waiting. But he also, I mean, you could see exactly what he was going to say. He had that set up to just call her stupid,
Yep.
Yeah.
and so she responded with that.
Yeah.
So it's like petty to petty.
No,
But it's like,
I
but
agree.
is it petty
I
though?
agree, I think.
But is it petty though if like he does preach this kind of monogamy, like family values type of thing, and he talks shit about other single moms or like moms who have multiple fathers and shit. Like he does that, so that's why it's
And
like.
if you
is it
watch the
petty,
whole
though, if it's,
interview,
like,
he's just being a
his
condescending
hypocrisy?
cunt the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. This guy's a fucking maniac with some of the shit he says. So make him squirm. I think that's good for
Right.
the
That's where
audience.
it's like I know I
understand.
like seeing it only one
He
way.
puts
I
up
don't
this
feel bad for
fucking.
him.
He puts up this fucking bravado. Let's see
Yeah.
it crack. Like that's cool with me.
I understand,
Yeah.
but I care about her too. She's not some vehicle or vessel for wrecking Andrew Wilson, right? I wanted her to be her. Like, who are you, lady? So
Maybe
thus,
she likes rec. Yeah.
if she's holding a fucking nuclear weapon in her back pocket, I care about that too in the context around it, and that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah. But it's not even so much a nuclear weapon. It's like
Or
a
whatever,
known thing. People
you know.
wr't that in his comment section all the time.
It's like something
I
he
don't
avoids
know. I
talking
don't know
about.
enough about these
It's like
guys.
he doesn't want to
Yeah.
talk about
He's
it.
part
type
of like
shit.
the manosphere, like kind of movement, I guess.
I've heard that
I thought
idea.
it was just
Part of
like
that.
you're a bitch. You're a dyke.
feel
Like
like-
you
Yeah.
tell me you have some issues without telling me you have some issues, dude. I'm sorry.
He's
It
like,
just-
like
I feel like
ridiculous.
it'd be
And, like,
comparable if
For
somebody
like a half an hour,
talks
he
shit
sits
about,
there and just like
you know,
badgers her about her life
black
choices
people
and
or
yada
whatever,
yada
and then they
yada.
have like
It's
a
like
black
she just
wife
brings
or
up some
something,
simple ass
and
shit.
it's
Like,
like,
well,
yo.
what
You guys,
about you?
hold on,
Mhm.
because you guys are. I gave you a chance, but you guys are straight up talking over each
Oh my
other.
God.
Yeah.
So,
I'm sorry.
well, one at a time. Whoever goes first, I'll say yes.
It's all good, man.
Daddy.
Okay, no one said anything then. Apparently,
Nope. It is nothing. But
I'm sure you can hear some of that, audience, if you listen to this part of the video. You'll hear some of it. But once again, my thing is, yes, Andrew Wilson. I've watched more of his theological debates, and I'm like, I don't hear enough. All right, as far as my understanding, like where he's coming from and what his arguments are, and too much giving away of. It's like stupid debate tactics rather than like actual real conversation. But at the same time, like, here's this lady who I don't know, and I'm like, well, you're important too. So you can't just be like, once again, you can't be the vessel for destroying Andrew Wilson because I disagree with Andrew Wilson, right? It has to be like, because you're saying something that you actually care about. I get the point, right? And I think that's worthy of bringing up in regards to like skin in the game, actually practicing what you say out loud, right? Those ideas, right? That's worthy to be brought up. I just don't want it to be like I want a debate tactic instead of a person-to-person tactic or person-to-person conversation thing.
Yeah.
But either way, all right, here we go. Let's play more, I guess.
Sorry, I'm sorry, Dyke. Is she morally inconsequential in comparison to your ditch?
Sorry, Dyke.
Do the men that you try to
Do the women that you try to
your hatred against?
Do you the women that you try to
that they shouldn't
handle Charlie?
You're
gay. Do they know
Charlie,
that
did I
your
bring
wife
your
is 5
family?
years older?
Did I bring any of your family into anything?
Stupid.
Did I say anything about your family being stupid, Charlie?
You could.
It's
You could
because
go
I'm
for it.
better than you, Charlie.
No, it's because you're embarrassed, and you know that the traditional values that
Mhm.
you try to sell people are bullshit because you are not a traditional man.
Chuck, let's go through it.
You are not a traditional man.
Chuck, tell me what I'm doing, which is
By
immoral.
whose standards, girl? By whose standards?
By his
right?
own standards.
By his standards.
Exactly.
Yeah, his standards, I think.
Exactly. Like,
That's her whole point, I think.
That was
I
a-
saw,
that was
like,
a
I think this. Yeah.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I saw it in the longer clip. Like she is saying like, well, I'm using your standards. Like I think she even says that at one point. Like,
Awesome.
but what you espouse, like, so like I'm going by what you're saying.
Okay, because I have not seen this entire video of all the entire
He's
thing.
a ditch licker. You didn't know?
Well, it's like, hey, man.
I've never heard that one.
I mean, fuck debates, just more so like on a human level. Like, hey, if these are your standards, I will hold you to your own standards. If you fall short of that, then like that needs to be brought up. And guess what? When it comes to real conversations, like really being like intellectual and being philosophical and all that stuff, guess what? Real life, your social life does not get thrown out the fucking window. It's a part of this, essentially. For like real conversations, right? Not debate, bro. I'm trying to dunk on you on Twitter or on the whatever podcast or Discord or whatever the fuck, right? That's, to me, that's different. It's different intention versus like, I'm trying to show you what you claim to be saying, and here's the contradiction when there's skin actually in the game, right?
Yeah.
It's someone saying, I will never kill. Then you put them on a battlefield and they kill 20 people. Like, okay, so that was not correct. What do you mean by I won't kill? It begs the question, right? On a philosophical level. But let's keep it moving. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is embarrassing. And I think she called it out correctly. It's like, yeah, you're reacting this way because you're embarrassed. So let's like, I would hope she'd be like, oh, let's go through that, right? But who knows what actually happened there? I don't know. I didn't watch that whole podcast. I have Prop saying what you saw, right?
She's the fucking cordial one and is sitting there just taking her fucking like insult after insult, like fucking how being a lesbian is fucking means you're a bad person and all this shit.
Fuck.
Yeah, I've heard his religious arguments. They are horrendous when it comes to practical, actual human experience. They miss out.
Most of his takes are
Yeah.
horrific. Like they're pretty bad. Like he's pretty
That
gross.
shit probably got to him because he's the worst fucking stepdad, and his fucking stepkids
Yeah,
probably
it got
hated
to him.
that.
It's like, why did it hit you so hard, dude? What about it rings true to you? I don't know.
Like
It's
I'm gonna
just
be
you
honest.
like
I'm just being honest. If my father talked like this, like I would be like,
be fucking
he probably wouldn't
embarrassed.
want to be around me. Like it just
Right.
it wouldn't matter. I don't care if you're my fucking father. I'm gonna call that shit out. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Your father, so fucking what? I don't care. It's not like that has nothing to do with anything.
But
And if my father was talking like that, I would be on his ass every motherfucking day.
But
It's like, what is this stupid shit you're saying?
What are you saying today, Dad? What stupid shit?
Yeah, what do you say? What? Like,
today?
yeah, come on.
But you got to bring in the internet celebrity shit and be like, hey, when you're not on camera or on microphone, right? He might be treating his family, like his actual like direct family members, whether it's stepson or real son, whatever the fuck, right? He might treat them actually differently, right? Which is fake as fuck. It's fake as fuck as far as what he does. But like, it's still have to consider that idea, right?
If that was the case with my father, where he treated us differently at home, and I saw him talking like this on the fucking like the podcast,
I was still hating on him.
my own podcast, exposing my father,
Hey,
liar.
Me too.
I'm gonna get
Hashtag
exposed.
me
I don't
too.
give a fuck who you are.
That's
Get out
fair
of here.
enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm just saying, like, what can happen in regular life, right? Where they just like, well, this is my job, you know, it's my job. It is what I'm playing. Kind of playing,
fuck your job.
playing a character. I'm playing a character,
fuck your job.
right?
No.
I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. You know,
I know.
I'll leave it there.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
But
Like if you're out there, like really actually like doing this kind of shit, like where you're like, in my opinion, just like
it's weak.
Yeah, it's
That's fucking Harvey Dent shit. If you're fucking going out there one way and fucking
Is
act, and
Prop
then you're
trying
a
to
good
outflank
guy
me
at
on
home.
Batman? How dare you? How fucking dare you? Leave my Batman out of this. Only I can
no.
say Batman.
I need more of these like fucking kids and their sisters, brothers, mothers to start fucking exposing your fucking dumbass family members. What the
Seriously?
fuck? Like, hello.
I'm in wholesale agreement, but also trying to empathize with the guy a little bit.
Not trying to break up the family unit either.
Yeah, you might not say that at the dinner table, right? You might keep
But
that
let us
quiet.
know.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
But if you can call it out, it's worthy.
Needs to
Yeah.
hear
If you
that
hear your
shit,
parents
but
saying that, you're gonna just let that go? Are you
they
kidding
need
me?
a lot of
they
kids
need
will.
to hear, like, they need to be confronted about it, but they don't need to be like badgered and like treated like shit to the point where they like lock in harder to their stance or whatever.
Well,
yeah, because that
some of
can't
them
happen
at that
and
point.
does happen frequently.
No, I agree. But it's like,
and I think
based on
that's
your
what
own
that
principle.
chick was doing. Like, she wasn't like just running him down the whole time, being like, "You're
Mhm.
ugly. You're a fucking loser. You're
Doing some
fat."
mommy
of
things
course.
too.
Of course.
Hit a couple of mommy chords. I don't know. He was pissed. He got pissed quick. It was like that switch. You know, there's a switch.
Yeah,
I
he
implore
heard
y'all
the
to
wrong
watch it
words out
because,
loud
like,
There
to
the whole
himself,
time
and
she's
he
just
flipped
sitting
out.
there looking like a business lady in her fucking like
Yeah.
cardigan or
She knew
whatever
he
the
would,
fuck she's
she
wearing.
knew he would react like that. She probably had a pretty good feeling.
Yeah,
I mean,
probably.
Yeah.
She
So
I
looks
don't know.
way
All I know
more
is
well
I've
put
gone off
together.
on like my own mother for less. Like we've had death penalty conversations that have gone off the fucking rails where I'm just like, I don't care if you're my mother. Like, you're gonna get your feelings hurt. Sorry. Like it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that, but some people don't go with that. Some people are like, "Yo, fuck this guy," but you know what? I'm not going to say it out loud because I don't want to be bothered by it. I don't want him. I don't want him bothering me. So you know what? I'm just gonna like keep that quiet to myself. That exists.
Silly.
It exists.
Of course
though.
it does. But
That's
a
all I'm
lot of
talking
times
about.
it's fucking cowardly. In my opinion.
That's fair. If you were them in their situation, that'd be your view, right? That's fucking cowardly.
But when is enough then? Like, are you just gonna not say anything to be polite forever? For everything? Where do you draw the line?
Well, that's why I say, hey, God's got it at that point. Nature's got you at that point because I can make all the arguments on planet Earth to you, to whoever, right? And it won't be enough. So thus, nature's gonna hopefully take care of that to where like you have to confront the idea that like, hey, this guy that you're trying to avoid or maybe look up to, whatever the situation is, they might be actually quite fallible, and just maybe full shit in plenty of moments, So it depends on the person, right, and what their mindset is in regards to all this. But yes, if I was in that situation, I'd be like, yeah, if I did that, I'd be a coward, and thus I judge it as so, right?
Yeah.
If that's what you think, you should probably fucking say it, regardless of consequence. If you're that level of savage, right? This clip, fuck. I'm gonna like, bless you. I think I'm gonna play this.
Sorry.
I'm gonna play this, but like do it off screen because Rogan's. You'll hear the audio, but the copyright stuff I'm trying to avoid. So let me.
Cass gets to repost.
Well, Twitter's different than YouTube, so
that's
to
true.
be fair to
That's
Tim.
true. Fair enough.
So I'll play the audio, but like be on a different tab. Hopefully, people understand that. Here we go.
And I can't prove this, but it's been my experience that left-wing communities and left-wing groups, especially online communities and online groups, really pander to the mentally ill in a big way. Really pander to them. And I think that it's a form of weaponization. They want to attract the extremely mentally ill into these communities, and it helps.
I'm sorry. That video before was fucking perfect because you saw his fucking neuroses pop out in front of your face. You watched it happen. Now, him getting upset because he feels contradicted or embarrassed, or maybe he really loves that girl, right? But he does a show where he plays a character and contradicts it, or whatever the fuck, right? Or says, like, that's bad. He plays a character on fucking TV or whatever the fuck, right?
His mask.
I can mentally understand someone doing that. Not saying it's right or wrong. Well, I'm saying it's wrong. But not saying it's right, but it's just like, that can't exist. But at the same time, like calling these people like mentally ill when I just saw you do that shit, bro, is fucking crazy to me. That is batshit crazy to me. Go ahead. It's hard. It's gonna be hard to pause the video because I'm trying to like switch tabs and not get copyrighted. But if you guys hear anything that you want me to stop at, just fucking say pause and I'll stop the video.
I think the more you stop during the Rogan shit, the better, because then you could claim fair use if there's like not more than
dude, it's all fair use.
20 seconds or some shit. Oh, definitely.
Prop. We've done 15-minute clips of Rogan and made it into like a 2 or 3 hour video, and I still get.
But it's like I think
copyrighted.
it's if you play. I think it's if you play for a certain amount of time
without
that it gets triggered.
Like a stretch or something.
Yeah, like a stretch amount of time, like a certain amount of time stretched out without like commenting in between. I think that's when the algorithm gets like triggered. I think.
But sometimes that has to happen sometimes, where it's like they're completing sentences and making a point, and thus we want to comment afterwards. But it's like
they've got like a time. I think it's like maybe 15 or 20 seconds.
It's like sampling for music. You can do it like a certain amount of seconds.
So fucking weak, man. Like, come on.
I know. That's why people always like stop and that's.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll look up the exact time.
Look at it afterwards or whatever for my upload sake. But for now, let's hear more of this. I'm gonna switch.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna switch tabs again, but hit play. Here we go.
Actually, what is radicalization? And they play on the fact that they're mentally ill in order to do this.
Well, this is Antifa, right? Like this is why
it's not just Antifa. It goes beyond that.
Oh shit!
If you go to some of these TikTokers communities, you go to some of the online political pundits communities who are far left.
Oh, it's 30 seconds.
Okay, these people who are in there are Fruit Loops, man.
Yeah,
they are lunatics, and they're pandered to. They're pandered to. Oh, okay, you can't say this to them. That's ableist.
How this guy
you
make
can't
it
tell them
Rogan,
this is you're
actually.
a weirdo
Objection.
because that's mean. You can't. And not only are they pandered to, but I think that that's the source of the weapon. If it's the case that these people don't care about death, they don't care. Like, the outcome's going to be death. That guy who shot at the ICE agents not too long ago. Remember, he was on top of the roof. He was shooting across with, I think, a Mauser rifle, and they dusted him. They killed him, or he shot himself. I don't remember which.
When was this?
This was a few months back.
I don't know about this one. I don't
know.
No, there was a guy. He was
just how callous I've become.
Yeah, he was taking shots at, I believe it was ICE agents in front of the ICE facility.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, for copyright's sake. Anyone heard of that story? I don't know that.
No.
one.
Yeah, they were shooting outside of the ICE whatever thing. I think.
I didn't hear that one.
It was a guy.
It was like it came and went.
Okay, there's a guy with a rifle shooting at ICE people. But
he
live
was
bullets.
caught like immediately, or I think he was shooting at an ICE facility apparently, and then apparently he shot one of the people that was detained.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
What the fuck?
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, it came and went. The story was like real quick. I'm like,
Oh, okay. One of those.
So,
Kind of hides away. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because like, when it comes to like the team playing stuff, they kind of, and I hear this as like counter arguments from some of the dummies that are around here, and they'll tell me like, "Heck, you didn't cover this story." Like maybe I didn't hear about it, or maybe I did hear about it and said something about it, but you didn't listen. But either way, it's kind of like, they're both bad. Those are bad scenarios either way. Some guy on a roof with a fucking rifle shooting at shooting at whatever the fuck he's shooting at. That's bad.
Yeah.
Just like
okay, I found
Ashley
the article
Babbitt,
here.
Bad.
It was
Just
a Mexican
like
man apparently.
Alex Preddy, bad. These are all Renee Good, all bad scenarios, right, guys? But they're so locked in on the team aspect that they don't fucking.
Like, well, it's not the point. It's like, what the fuck?
Who would want that on their protest? Like, that's something that like it would delegitimizes like what you're doing.
Exactly. But okay. But it sounds like he's like selling a narrative to dumb fuck Joe Rogan. So bad out here, bro. Trust me. Let me tell you.
Yeah, the one guy. Okay, here I put the article on here from PBS, but it's he was on the rooftop in Dallas. I guess he was shooting at the ICE facility. They killed him apparently.
Oh, the detention center.
Good.
Shit.
Right. The detention center.
Yeah.
The ICE detention center. Yeah.
I will link. What the fuck?
I guess that's what he's talking about. I think that's what he's talking about, but
I'll link this either way.
because he said rooftop, said this, and this was from a rooftop.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Damn.
Okay.
I bet this did come and go.
I will have this linked for the video viewers. But, all right, let's continue. Here we go.
Yeah, he was using. I believe he was using
that.
like a Mauser rifle or something.
Yeah, okay, now I remember.
And early on with the Charlie Kirk thing, they were actually making these connections because he had used a Mauser as well, right, to shoot Charlie Kirk. That was the. So people were making those early connections. Wait,
this
is
World War II fucking gun is now
does this Mauser mean something here? Does that particular rifle have special?
It's always a Mauser.
You know how people are online.
Yeah.
But anyway, the interesting thing is like they don't care if they die. They're dying martyrs. They don't care. And it's really easy to weaponize mentally ill people that way because they don't care. These are the same people who have the high suicide rates
Leftists.
for a reason because they're already mentally ill. Like
that's not
Mentally
psychology,
ill.
as far as I understand. That's not how that goes.
No. Fuck this guy.
They're just left, so they shoot rifles at people. Got it.
Remember these keywords: mental, right? Mentally ill, pandering, insane, left. Just keeps repeating it.
Yeah.
Because it's background noise. People just pick up on certain words. Dumbasses.
Yeah. I mean, fuck. Because I only watched like, a couple things from this guy. I did like a couple videos on him. And I'm like, man, like I'm trying to like find where people view this guy as like some sort of like savant of the times or intellectual of the times. I can't find it, dude. I hear him arguing against kind of some silly people, like actually like some silly arguments. Maybe not the girl we just listened to, but like some other people I've heard him argue with. A transhumanist apparently, where it's just like not much needed in regards to quote unquote winning the fucking argument, right? But you know, he sounds smart compared to dumb fuck transhumanist, right? He sounds smart compared to that person, but not something of like real substance of this guy. Or I'm like, oh my god, never thought about that before. Never heard that from this person. Granted, once again, my viewing is limited, very limited.
He amplifies grievances. I think.
What do you mean?
Like if you're pissed, I don't know this guy.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a grievance amplifier in my opinion. So that's why I feel like some of these guys resonate with him.
Yeah.
Just my opinion.
No, that makes sense. That actually makes a lot of sense. The like the blood sport of it, and him quote unquote destroying the opposition.
Yep. Motherfuckers can relate, and there you go.
They can live
Off we go.
They can live through him in a way, like vicariously through this guy.
Yes.
Oh,
that's how I feel.
He's not smart in the like. He sounds smart, but not from what he says. Like
exactly.
It's more stylistic, like how someone might hear like a British accent and think, "Hey, that sounds smart," right? Just because it's like a British accent.
Yes.
His style sounds smart, but if you listen to his words, it's not really. It's just like what he's doing right here is the political side.
Yeah, man.
It's not meaningful.
It's like the core arguments. I'm like, what are you saying? Because I heard one of his debates or a portion of his debates where he gives leeway on something he can't give leeway to as a quote unquote Christian, right? He gives leeway to something. What the fuck was it? It was I forgot what it was, man. Forgive me. But it was like leeway in regards to something where it's like you can't just take that for granted. It can't just be like, well, let me give you this argument. Let me say this is correct. Let me steelman your shit, right? You can't just do that in certain scenarios when you have a belief. Otherwise, what's the point? You're supposed to be you arguing your ideas with someone else. You can't give leeway to certain ideas because you stone cold, hard-blooded fucking believe in it. So you can't give room for that. But he did it anyways. For the sake of what? Making the other person look silly or stupid or... See, look, you're illogical. But meanwhile, you gave up your logic for that scenario. You gave that up. It's like, what's the fucking point? What are we doing here? Is this a dance?
Yeah.
Chapter Batman Begins. Are we dancing? Are we like, what are we doing?
But really though.
Is this combat or are we dancing? And that makes sense here. But let's hit play.
He was debating the atheist guy, right? And I guess he was on the not atheist side, but he was doing the atheist arguments. Like he did not sound. I don't know why he was on the Christian side at all. because he says he is, or that's his team. But
The
it
fundamentals
not seem
always
like
sound like the
he believes
atheists to
it.
me.
It's a Crowder style, like argumentative style thing where it's like, hey, listen, man, let's pretend that your idea is correct, and thus you have an entire arena of arguments to make after that. As soon as you like allow their idea to be like, okay, let's say this is true. Let's pretend that's true. Then go from there. Guess what? If you're a full shit artist, bro, you can play with that all day and night. Pause. You can in an argument realm. Like certain things you can't give up if you claim to believe X, Y, or Z, right? But all right, let's hear like the last minute of this. Here we go.
And it's really easy to weaponize mentally ill people that way because they don't care. These are the same people who have the high suicide rates for a reason because they're already mentally ill, like the trans and others, which many of them you find are connected
Doesn't give a fuck.
trans people almost every time.
Also, SSRIs.
Yep.
This is the other problem, is that how many of these people
the pill
are
industry.
on these psychiatric medications that...
I'm sorry, dude.
Violent ideation is a part of the...
I'm sorry. Rogan, who's on every chemical you can think of, by the way. He's on TRT, human growth hormone, alpha brain. He's on all this shit. Talking about other people's like SSRIs. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Get the fuck out of here.
That is weird.
That's
That
insulting.
is very weird.
That's insulting.
Yep. Purposely insulting.
Especially because he's conflating like what would be usually categorized under like mental type of like psychiatric help.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Like
But
mental.
SSRIs are specifically for you to retain more serotonin, which is like the happy hormone. Like it's like when people say, "Oh, someone's smoking marijuana. This guy's gonna be violent." It's like, wait, that's not how it works, right? Like people don't get violent with marijuana. It's similar. Like if you're talking about serotonin, like what? Like, why are you connecting it to what you're talking about right here with violence? Like, it doesn't make that much sense.
No, it's just adding it in to make it confusing, mush together shit.
Listen, I have problems with SSRIs and the idea of it and trying to deal with the psyche through medication and shit like that. I have plenty of problems with that. But this motherfucker on screen right here, Rogan, he claims like, I think clearer now because I have alpha brain. I think clearer because I have TRT or whatever the fuck he has, right? He will say those things benefit him psychologically. So it's like, you can't be saying this, my man. For the little woo-woo guys out there like me, yes, I get my arguments in regards to why I'm against whatever pills or drugs or whatever the fuck to make your mind work differently. I have my arguments against that. But Rogan has no fucking stance here. He doesn't. In my opinion, he has nothing there. But yeah, I think he's
I
going
wonder
with
how
the
he feels on
conspiracy
the
idea.
days he misses 2 days. Like he missed. I can't get. I forgot my alpha. What do I do?
He's going with like kind of the conspiracy.
He's going to be a
sense of
beta.
things. He's going with conspiracy.
Beta day.
And that's unfortunate. Well, it's typical. I'll say that it's typical. He's going with the kind of conspiracy world of things. Oh my God, Sirhan was on this drug. Hey, this fucking other guy, this mass shooter guy was on these drugs. He's going with that instead of like actually approaching psychology, because in his world, there's better drugs that make you like behave better versus the ones that make you behave worse, right? Which
and also
means something chemical.
And a lot of the reason why a lot of these school shooters or whatever, they're like, oh look, and they're on antidepressants or they're on these drugs, and it's like all the fucking kids are on drugs, all of them. It's just that these ones happen to be the ones that did violent shit, but like there's plenty of them that don't do these violent things. So like, how do you explain that?
Well, that's a scary question because there's no boxes or answers for what the fuck is the mind.
Exactly.
There's no answers for it. So thus, it must be because of this, right? Or that.
Yeah.
And which is lazy to me, but makes sense for Rogan to be saying that. Let's be real, this guy's a dummy, and this makes sense why he would be saying that. But here we go. What?
Problem is that how many of these people are on these psychiatric medications that violent ideation is a part of the side effects of these suicidal, or these psychiatric drugs. There's a lot of people
philosophically and
that have,
psychology,
psychotic thoughts.
psychologically, does make
they
sense.
get on some of these different SSRIs and different psychiatric medications. So you've got people that are already fucked up mentally, and then you've got them on these medications that cause them to do all kinds of crazy things.
And aren't women taking much more in the way of SSRI pills than men are?
Yeah.
And who do we see is on the bullhorns and loudspeakers at most of these events? It's women.
Well, particularly liberal women.
Particularly
like the
liberal
statistics,
women, yeah.
I'm sure you've seen.
What? Is that the whole clip? I think it is. Yeah. All right. Okay. All right.
Okay.
But isn't it like women do? Yeah, isn't it? Whoa. Wow. Fuck out of here. That was no thought by two dingbats, by the way. Once again, there's probably a full podcast where there's more context and nuance to it. But right now, in that 3-minute clip, I heard two dummies talking out loud, trying to assess why bad things happen. And it's fucking horrendous, in my humble opinion.
They're mentally ill.
It's
liberal.
Well, like, you know,
women.
It's just like
protest.
Like
Antifa.
buzzwords, right? Like
Yep.
buzzwords in your ears. Someone might
Yes.
fall for that. Someone's gonna fall for that, probably.
Yeah. They need those are the
Oh,
like the podcasts
absolutely.
that they need to fall asleep to. Sweet
Yeah,
nothings
it's
in your
background
ear.
noise. Yep.
Yeah.
Just remember certain words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta fall asleep to that.
Word association.
That is a sad phenomenon, but let's let's move on to another.
Did Josh leave?
Oh, he did? Oh, he
For his
said,
video?
Yo, bro, play the fucking video.
Good. He wants to do his shit. He wants to do the things
He went to go he went to go put it back in the fridge.
Yep.
Whatever it is.
And she's like,
Yep.
It's like, yo, do the dishes while you're at it too.
Yeah,
Exactly.
for sure.
Mop the floor,
Clean the
sweep
counters.
Cinderella.
Good. Smart ass needs to clean his fucking. He needs to help
I'm gonna
help
start
out at
calling him
home, Josh.
Cinderella.
He's in like a Roman outfit eating grapes. Like,
Yeah.
bro, get in the kitchen, clean that shit up, like put this in the fridge,
Cinderella.
do the fucking dishes.
Cinderella. Yep, that's his name, Cinderella.
Cinderella. Okay.
Either way, we'll move on to the video.
Shout out to Josh.
We'll move on to Josh's video that he's not here for.
What a lame-o. I'm gonna tag him.
Actually, let me leave and come back real fast. I'm lagging. There we go. I watched this already, so I think he did too. But yo, bro, I got so many ideas I want to say. First off, the fridge is like way over there. Like, why do I gotta walk so
Like,
far
bro,
to
I'm
get
not doing
there?
it.
You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I'm not
Like,
doing it. Bro. I'm cooked.
I could like fall asleep right now. Like I'm in bed right now. I could fall asleep, but like you want to walk all the fuck over there? Like what the fuck?
All the way over there? No.
Come on, dude.
Get wrecked. No. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to be like,
Josh's vocabulary. Get wrecked. Retard. Just 8 words of doom.
Yeah. His like
Go
9
Gen
words
Z.
you can't say, whatever.
yeah, for sure. He's the
That's basically
spokesperson
what
for Gen
repeats
Z on
over
this
and over
channel.
again.
I should make fun of him enough. He'll
Fake
show
ass
up.
edgelord. I just tagged him. That's when we're watching his
Yo, am I
stupid ass
late?
video.
Talking mad shit.
You guys watching Fallout right now?
Go
What's going
away. No. Matt Hunter is like, is this the desk in your background on the video from this album? Like, no,
on? Is he
I
in
don't
here?
even.
Not even in here.
No, I don't even know if he's in here. But he's like
That-
saying, hey, can you tell me about this desk in your background? No, I cannot. I will not tell you about this desk in my background.
So weird.
Freak.
That is so weird.
Sorry.
Where'd you get that from, huh? Somalia? Where'd you get it?
Yo, that's
No,
weird.
he
as
said it was an
hell.
album cover. Sent it from an antique store? Which one? It's like, yeah, no. Let's try.
Listen,
Like, no.
because he's a gay black man in Atlanta, he's like, yo, girl, like, where'd you get that from?
True.
Like, how do I
He's
put
like,
that
I'm trying to
in my...
redecorate my house. Did you paint that yourself?
trying to feng shui
Did you
my
have to
room.
sand
The
it
audience
before
could
you
see the
repainted
desk.
it?
I wish the audience could see the desk right now. I really do.
The way that desk sits behind you like that, with that shit on top of it, and that shit underneath. Like, what? I don't know.
What's
Is
wrong
this a
with
poem?
you?
Is it a haiku? Like, I don't understand.
Imagine that in like my office with like the sun hitting it. You know what I'm saying? Like a certain angle. That would look good.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
So,
This just
all right.
I guess.
Hey,
Go
let's
ahead.
hit play. Josh saw this already, so
Please.
let's hit play. This is about Logan Paul from Karl Jobst, a guy I watched for like speedrunning hacker or cheaters, shit like that. Like kind of documentary style, Australian guy. I think Australian or New Zealand, whatever. But this is about like actual like legal cases in regards to him and selling memorabilia to the gamers.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the title of the video is "The Logan Paul Pokemon Scam is Insane." What a title in 2026. It makes sense.
It's a great title.
Totally insane. All right. Here we go.
Hello, you absolute legends. Oh boy, Logan Paul is making headlines again due to his involvement in yet another alleged scam. This time it's not NFTs or a cryptocurrency, this time it's a Pokemon card in a fractional investment platform called Liquid Marketplace. A while ago, back in 2021, I made a video called Exposing Fraud and Deception in the Retro Video Game Market, and in that video I included a section about companies that allowed you to buy fractions of valuable collectibles. From what I can see, these types of platforms have definitely become less popular now, but back during the peak of the pandemic, these were all the rage. Multiple speculative bubbles formed around that time, and it was too expensive for most people to buy a rare sealed video game or another type of rare collectible outright, so these companies had the bright idea to allow poor people to lose money too by selling them fractions of assets. And of course, Logan Paul is always on the lookout to make a quick buck by jumping on a trend.
Scammer.
This time it was by co-founding a fractional investment platform called Liquid Marketplace back in 2022. I'll let Logan himself explain how it works.
He just
What's up, y'all?
repeated
Logan here. As an
scammer.
avid collector and strategic investor myself, I am so stoked to announce the launch of Liquid Marketplace, a platform where collectors can buy and sell fractions of rare collectibles via tokens on the blockchain. As a co-founder of Liquid Marketplace, I believe we're set to level the playing field
K2C's
by
fucking
allowing
future.
anyone
Here it
to own a
is.
piece of the world's rarest collectibles.
Oh yeah, bro.
He's a
and build their
habitual
portfolios
scammer.
instantly. Here's how it works. Liquid Marketplace will curate a collection of highly
Yeah,
sought
bro,
after
I own
items
some of
available
the-
in our ecosystem where users can buy in to be a partial owner.
Buy parts of it. Oh my god.
Vault, and when you're ready,
his
you
trunks.
can buy,
I own
sell,
part of them.
portion of ownership with other members.
This is industry standard. Multiple other platforms had done this type of thing before, so nothing automatically screams scam here. Even though personally I think buying a fraction of a collectible is pretty stupid. The only person I can imagine buying something you can't bring home and put on your shelf is someone who is only out to make money. And I hate speculation in the collectibles market. I personally don't care about Pokemon or sports cards, but when speculators came into the video game market, something I care deeply about, I found it to be really disgusting. Not because I don't want video games to be worth a lot, I would love everyone to care about video games just as much as me, but the types of people who are only in it to make money tend to use gross and misleading tactics in order to artificially inflate the market. These tactics result in many people who genuinely want to own and treasure a collectible being priced out. And with my moral grandstanding out of the way, back to Logan Paul and Liquid Marketplace. But before that, a massive shout out to today's sponsor. Now legends are once again arrived late. Not want, display through credible and allegedly purchased stuff. In July 2022, Logan Paul allegedly purchased the most expensive Pokemon card in history, a PSA 10 Pikachu Illustrator. And I don't say allegedly because he may not have bought it, I say allegedly because it was a private sale, and we have no idea what he actually paid, despite what he claims. The amount Logan claims to have paid should be treated with skepticism, because 1, Logan Paul lies about everything, and 2, he used that announcement of his purchase to advertise the platform he co-founded, Liquid Marketplace.
So this was a very hard decision to make, but yes, I will be listing this card on a platform that I co-founded called Liquid Marketplace. It allows co-ownership of top-tier assets. So instead of one person, me owning this card, we as a collective can co-own it together.
And we've seen this exact same thing before.
Oh my
when
God.
I covered the sealed video game bubble, it was the exact same play. The co-founder of the auction house Heritage Auctions, Jim Halperin, and several other insiders, who all just happened to be silent investors in the grading company What A Games, bought a Super Mario for $100,000. $100,000, and this made news as the most expensive video game ever sold. And they used this sale to pump the market and advertise their platforms. And as it later turned out, they lied about the details of the sale. In their press release, they claimed only 3 people bought the game. But in a deposition given by What A Game's founder, Dennis Kahn, he admitted that not only had 4 people bought the game, but the original owner still got to keep partial ownership of it. So the sale was a complete sham. That is why whenever you hear about these sales connected with advertisements of platforms co-owned by the purchaser, you can be pretty confident in assuming that the details of the sale are total bullshit. Logan Paul claims he paid $5.3 million for this Pokémon card, and that 51% of his card would be available for purchase through his platform, Liquid Marketplace.
I'll also be listing it for $5 million instead of the $5.3 million I bought it for. So basically, I'll be giving you guys $300,000 discounts.
Yeah, you won.
And I should say this, I'll be retaining 49% ownership of the cards.
On July 10, 2022, it was officially announced that Paul's card would be available for purchase, with 51% of the listed value being $2.55 million. And a month later, it was announced that the entire share on offer had been sold out. Now, let's read this announcement carefully, because it's important to understand how this process works. The post reads, "Now the holy grail of Pokemon cards has sold out and is available for trading on the marketplace. The LMP community now controls the future of the card and will take part in all decisions made as to whether it will be taken out of the collector's vault for events or to be auctioned off." There are multiple parts to this post that are critical to understanding why Logan Paul is now in hot water. The first is the part where it says the card has sold out and is available for trading on the marketplace. With these fractional investment platforms, there are 2 phases when offering an asset, with the first being the initial offering. This is where the platform sells its equity to the public in the form of tokens. So in this case, in July 2022, LMP begins the offering phase. During this phase, people may buy ownership in the asset, and they are buying directly from LMP. This is phase 1. If and only if all of the initial offering is sold, they move to phase 2. Phase 2 is where the asset is put on the marketplace and token holders may buy and sell tokens between one another. So this post is saying that all of the 51% on initial offer had been purchased, and now tokens are able to be freely traded between other token holders, with LMP no longer owning any share of the asset. That's why the post then says the LMP community now controls the future of the card and will take part in all decisions made. Because
why is it in tokens like that? If it's like, hey, I bought 50 cents portion of your card, right, out of the 2 million, right? And the idea is like, hey, after time goes by, it'll become more valuable. So thus my 50 cents becomes a larger number, right, as time goes by. But instead, they're doing it through a fake currency thing, right? Essentially.
Yeah, these are shares. Just they commoditize it. Like basically, you could do this with any piece of paper and say this is, there's any piece of paper. You can break it up into pieces, but that becomes a security. Like that, there are laws about how that's handled. This ICO, this initial, it's something that a lot of people get mixed up about. Like when you see the value of a company go up or go down, let's say it dropped 50%, right? Like just to be extreme, because even 10% is a big deal. But if it dropped 50%, the company did not change from one day to another. Like they're not even impacted. Like the only way that it could impact if somebody goes and buys the whole thing and controls it, then they're impacted. But in general, all that means is the shareholders lost half their value. Not the company. The company is unaffected because the company made money when they initially sold their shares. After that, they don't have nothing to do with it. And so that's where the ICO is. Like within the ICO, what you talked about phase 1, that is where the people who are selling that thing made their money. Now, if they kept shares, they could maybe continue to make money. Or if they're going to dump it, they already sold it and they made everything. But it's the selling of the initial shares is separate than the movement of the shares, which, I mean, this really doesn't have value. Like they're showing a card, right? In cards, you could kind of see like maybe like I think of baseball cards. That's where this idea came from, right? Like the baseball cards. So you know that those have increased over the years. But think about what they were doing with this video game, right? So this Mario thing. And yes, you could say it's a collectible, right? But if I have a collectible, like a video game, and it says that it's most valuable when it's unopened, right? So this is a video game that's unopened. Somebody has it in their house. It's not in everybody's house. It doesn't matter how many times you chop it up. It's not in everybody's house.
Yeah.
Everybody has a share of the value. But this one motherfucker has it sitting on his mantle, right? Like he's the one who actually has it. Everybody else has ownership share. And on top of that, nobody can play it.
Yeah.
Like when you think about its actual value, nobody can play it. Not the owner, not anybody. So it's kind of a silly concept, really. Like you can do it. You can sell anything like that, but it's like, what do you actually have? What is the actual value? It's that you trust the guy. Like, imagine the guy dropped it. Imagine it fell in his fireplace. His house burnt
The
down.
value would drop significantly, I think, right? As far as
What if his house burnt down? Like, all of this is like really make believe stuff. So your faith is on the holder.
Yeah.
It's truly on the holder, just like our faith is on the dollar. Well, okay, we got a military, but like, do you trust anybody that prints money? No. And this is the same to printing money.
What if they take it like degrees separate from like, okay, here's the actual physical copy of a video game, right? But then you do like, okay, you guys want to buy shares in this? You're not buying actual shares. You're buying like a crypto token thing to represent shares in the first, like, thus you're like kind of like degrees further away. Am I tripping on saying that? Like it's like kind of almost like
Literally
extra
several
separate.
levels of abstraction. Yeah.
It's like separate.
That you have to go.
And it's based on confidence of the website, right? Of oh my god, I love Logan Paul, and I bought like $100 worth of Super Mario, right? I put 100, whatever their currency is called, 100 Logan coins, right? As a representative of a piece of the actual game, and isn't that like a extra separation even further to where like at the end of the day, like you're actually like so far away from the actual product, you're actually getting like it's actually like digital bullshit instead of like actually about the game itself, like owning a portion of it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know if that made sense. Yeah.
No, and there's people that like will even buy like digital art or whatever, like the NFTs, which like are literally it doesn't even physically exist, and they will own like fractions of it. I don't understand. Anyway.
I think the concept of being degrees away makes sense, like as a risk. But being on the blockchain alone is not the risk. It's just a way where you can guarantee transfer, like that you're transferring it to the person, and like one person is the owner, and they could split it up even to fractions. So that
that's just a
mechanism
ledger.
is okay.
That's not inherently bad. It's just a ledger. I get that.
Right.
But
right.
yeah.
The degrees of separation usually come in. Well, one is that you don't actually have it as it, but that's like with any paper, right? Usually when people talk about degrees of separation, they'll buy a contract on a share, and that's usually like a contract to buy in the future or to sell in the future, and those things are to have leverage to basically multiply your effective buying because those cost less, but they can have a bigger impact. So that's when you want to make it riskier and maybe win more or lose more.
But
so
God,
that exists, but it's not not inherently worse than the product itself, which is I think the problem.
I might be
like entrusting the owner.
I might be spoiling this, but like the idea of like as Logan said, right? Hey, I'll own like 49%. You guys will own 51%, right? But of what? Because 51% means like you can dominate the other. Let's say one person bought the 51% by themselves, right? Yeah, that means they like basically own the game itself, right? Essentially, right? Mathematically, it's like I own 51%, you own 49%, so thus I own the game. But it's not. I don't think it's 51% of the game. I think it's 51% of the token thing that represents owning 51% of the game, which is way different than actually owning the majority of the game itself. Does that make sense? Or physical copy of
Mathematically, it
thing?
should be the same. But in a
I don't
company,
think it works that
when you
way
have
with
more
what
shares,
they're doing. Yeah, God.
yeah, and a company, usually those voting shares means you actually control like how they're going to operate. You can override people. You could even override the CEO and things like that. You could just be like, no, this is what we're going to do from now on. Like in a company, because the company does things, right? Here, at best, you might be able to like say, well, I own 51%, so it's going to be in my house, right? Like you could do that. Now,
Essentially,
a
though,
lot
right?
of times,
It could.
when they issue the initial shares, there are rules about what the shares entitle you to, and so now they put in stipulations where they might not have, like full control. They might limit certain areas of control, like where it can stay and things like that. So it depends on how it's written, but no, usually people don't look at that. They don't look at what
But
they're
let me ask you
actually
this.
buying.
Let me ask you, Jesse, because isn't that my idea? Like I'm dumb as fuck when it comes to financial shit like that. But like the idea is like on at least in like movies, right? If the guy like owns 51% of the company, that means he's basically running it. In fact, like people that sell the company, like let's say there's like a private ownership, right? And they make it public. But
Yes.
as they make it public, they own 51% of it. Thus, they kind of control what the business is doing in a way, right?
Yes. Yeah. Completely.
But I think this is
They have.
way different. What Karl Jobst is saying about this situation, it's not that.
Well,
Well, it is,
well,
but it isn't. But good. Sorry.
right. It is, but it isn't, because when you create shares, you also define what the voting rights mean. So usually, by default, it would be an even split, but they also may issue like shares can be different classes of shares. Like some shares may be voting classes, and some will not be.
Fair
And
enough. Yeah.
they can make rules when they issue it.
Yeah. That's fair enough. Fair enough. We're going with like the dumb guy logic of like 51 is bigger than 49, which means the 49 can't be half, right? They can't half own it because 51 exists. That's kind of the dumb guy logic of the scenario. But then I think that there's like a degree they add further to that to where it makes it a little bit more like blatant that Logan Paul actually controls the physical movement of a fucking Pokemon card, right? That they feel like they're investing in, right? I get the logic, right? I invest in this, right? I buy a share of it. And because it's such a valuable card, based on time, by the way, right? As time goes by, the card gets more valuable, right? So thus, if I invest $10 into it, it'll become $15 later on because the card is in like mint condition. It's being, in a fucking vault somewhere. So thus, I will make money on this. I can trade whatever coins I'd use to buy it back into dollars at some point, or whatever my national currency is. The thing is, I think it's sorry. I'll let the video speak for itself, but like, it's apparently someone's getting they're getting played essentially, which is just thus the scam of it, right? But all right, here we go. Let's play more of this.
The token holders have a majority ownership in the card, they should, in theory, have control over what happens to it, including whether or not it is sold to a third party or through an auction. And this decision process is supposed to be controlled through a vote. Unfortunately, however, all of this is a total lie. And by all of this, I really do mean all of this. Nothing about this post is true. When Logan Paul claimed you could co-own assets, he was lying. When the co-founder Ryan Bahadouri went around touting in promotional pieces that buying a token gives you genuine ownership over that asset, he was lying. When LMP stated that the community now controlled the future of Logan's card, it was lying. The entire premise of the platform was never true. Now, what I'm first going to do is explain how Liquid Marketplace was a scam in general, perpetrated by multiple people, not just Logan Paul. And then we will circle back specifically to Logan afterwards to wrap up everything in a nice, neat bow. Remember a few years ago there was this massive drama around established titles? The problem was that creators were telling their viewers that people really got to purchase and own land.
Well, this is a little
Is that the bearded
kooky,
butches?
but Oso technically owns land in Scotland now, which means he's a lord.
Okay, so let me see this thing.
There's this really
dog
cool
shooting
company
on the corner
called
of the thing is
Established
hilarious.
Titles, and you can actually buy land in Scotland. And if you look here, you can actually find his actual plot number.
I'm sorry, that's hilarious. I was like, is this food? It's not? Then what the fuck do I care? Can I eat this? Is it valuable for me? No, it's not? Okay, fine. Fuck it. That is hilarious.
They
to
saw
me.
pieces of the moon this way, right? Like a long time
Yeah.
ago.
Well, I've heard of. Yes, I've heard of. It's just funny, like seeing like a dog where they're like, you know, can I eat this? I can't. Can I play with this? No. What's its sport? Like, what's the fucking value then? This means nothing to me, right? And granted, our currencies and stocks and all that shit is supposed to like actually represent like value, right? That was just like funny to look at. But here we go.
How much land does he own?
He owns 1 square foot of land in Scotland.
I was like, yo, give me
But
that.
this
shit.
was all
I
a
can't
lie.
eat this?
You weren't
The fuck
purchasing
am I doing
land
here,
at
then?
all. It was all just make-believe. Established Titles still kept ownership of the land, and when you gave money to Established Titles, they didn't give up control or ownership of that plot. They just gave you a plaque and made it seem like you owned something, but you really didn't. And it was this false advertising that got everyone's knickers in a twist. And it's the exact same thing with LMP. All of the marketing, including from Logan Paul's own mouth, said that you could co-own collectibles, but that wasn't true, and you had no ownership or control. And it's this false advertising and the misleading statements that are partially responsible for the Ontario Securities Commission bringing proceedings against LMP and several of its principals in July of 2024. The complaint by the OSC lists a bunch of issues that we will get around to, but we will just stick to this ownership issue for now. The OSC complaint states that LMP, Bahadori, and Nickdell have perpetrated a fraud on its investors. Approximately $2.7 million had been obtained by LMP from the sale of LMP tokens to LMP token purchasers. LMP, Bahadori, and Nickdell made false and misleading statements to token purchasers, including that LMP tokens represent legal ownership in underlying collectibles. So this false advertising is a big deal, and such a big deal that the OSC outright calls it fraud. But here is where the alleged fraud gets really interesting, because notice that number, $2.7 million. The OSC is saying that by the time they filed this action in June 2024, LMP had only taken in $2.7 million from the sale of tokens. This doesn't make sense. When Logan Paul offered 51% of his PSA 10 Illustrator on LMP, it was valued at $5 million. So the total amount of tokens available for purchase was $2.55 million, which apparently sold out. And that was just one card. LMP listed many other collectibles as well. For example, a PSA 8 Pikachu Illustrator with a total value of $1.1 million, which also apparently sold out. We know it was supposed to have sold out because it was trading on the marketplace, which only happens once all of the initial offering is sold. This mechanic was made crystal clear by LMP employee Avic on their subreddit. So already, with just these two cards alone, that's $3.6 million, more than what the company took in total for its entire existence. And you can see on the marketplace there were a bunch of other expensive items as well. How is this possible? It doesn't seem to make any sense. Well, the truth is that it isn't possible. And the reason this discrepancy exists is because, according to the OSC, LMP was lying about their collectibles being sold out. The complaint states, LMP represented to actual and prospective token purchasers that LMP tokens represent legal fractional ownership of the underlying collectibles, including that LMP tokens are offered for pre-order on an initial drop, and only once all tokens for a collectible are fully sold on the initial drop does the collectible move to the marketplace, where token purchasers can trade their fractional ownership with other LMP platform users. Contrary to these representations, LMP moved collectibles to the marketplace that had not sold out on the initial drop, and deposited the unsold LMP tokens into LMP platform accounts that were owned or controlled by the LMP principals or their affiliates. In a nutshell, LMP lied to the public by telling them that all of the tokens had been sold when they hadn't, and then moved the collectibles to the marketplace when only a fraction of the actual tokens had been purchased. The reason for lying about this is pretty obvious. The truth is that not enough people were interested in purchasing these stupid tokens to buy out an entire collectible. Therefore, they would have never made it to the marketplace. So because of this, the entire business model is instantly killed. The way these platforms make money is by taking a fee whenever tokens are traded. So if people aren't trading, no fees are collected and no money is.
It's like, sorry to gamers, but like, yes, that's happening to people where they trade their, which there is some like some value in the game that you're playing, whether it's like, you know, WoW or whatever, CS:GO or whatever the fuck, right? Where there's like essentially a value to having like certain skins or in-game currencies, but still, if they don't actually, fuck, I'm forgetting my fucking point. Yeah, if you're not actually like or sorry, if it's actually attached to something that's not real in the first place, where there's no actual quote unquote in-game quality to it, there's no value to it, man. It's GG's at that point. And also, if they actually attach it to something that's not actually quote unquote real, if you have to pay like $1 to transaction your whatever 5,000 in-game currency to someone else, and it costs $1 to do that, you're spending real money, right? And they're taking a percentage of it. Just like anything, like FanDuel, right? Or PayPal or CashApp, right? Where it's like, hey, I will say fuck the little fee because I'm getting $100, right? I'll take, you know, $98 for the sake of like giving away $2 for the sake of getting my money instantly, right? And thus it becomes like a thing on its own. And that is part of the scenario that we're talking about, I believe. And imagine someone like living off of just the transactions, right? Just to like share from you to your friend online cost you money. Let's say it's like 5 cents, 20 cents, $1. Guess what? You're making real money for those guys, and you're transitioning not real money. But it might feel that way, right? Yeah, this is extremely weird and worthy of speculation. Here we go.
Or they would have never made it to the marketplace. So because of this, the entire business model is instantly killed. The way these platforms make money is by taking a fee whenever tokens are traded. So if people aren't trading, no fees are collected and no money is made. Also, lying to the public and claiming that items were being sold out, especially very quickly, like they represented, can give people the impression that tokens were in high demand, which can entice people on the fence to purchase. Ultimately, however, Liquid Marketplace, even with all of the lies and hype, was a complete and utter failure, especially for initial investors. And when I say investors, I don't mean the people buying tokens. I mean that before launching LMP, Logan and the other co-founders raised over $10 million in capital. They raised $10 million in capital, but the company only took in $2.7 million in revenue. Now, I'm not a mathematician, but those returns don't seem very good. The founders of LMP did very well for themselves, however. In the OSC complaint, there were only 3 people listed, but just those 3 principals alone received millions in compensation. Originally, these 3 gentlemen lied to the OSC, claiming that they only received a salary of around $100,000 each and only for 1 year, in 2022. But after further investigation, the OSC uncovered that these 3 individuals paid themselves hundreds of thousands of dollars in salaries each and extracted millions from LMP to companies they owned. From everything I've seen, it's hard to tell if the real fraud was only supposed to be the initial capital these guys raised and then used to enrich themselves. They certainly didn't take that capital and invest it into LMP. The website was atrociously unstable. Most of the time the website was down or simply unusable. In late 2022, the CEO said a mobile app was almost ready and would be launched very shortly.
A mobile application is absolutely paramount to the success of Liquid Marketplace. That mobile application is almost ready. I'm pleased to announce we're going through finishing touches. We're going through the final approval processes, and that will be launched very shortly for you guys to enjoy. Stay tuned.
Though of course, the mobile app never came. Throughout early 2023, the LMP social media accounts were kept on life support by a couple of low-level employees, but the principals and co-founders all vanished and left their platform behind to rust from the inside out. A September 2023 Instagram reel announcing 4 new upcoming features that also never came is the last time LMP made any update on their socials. As of right now, the website has been down for years, and from the reports I've heard, most users simply lost everything. So it seems pretty clear to me and the OSC that the officers and owners were in all likelihood just looking to take investor money, pretend to run a business for a short time, and then bail with everyone's cash when it inevitably fell apart. Ultimately, it looks like investors in LMP lost $10 million, and LMP token holders lost a couple of million as well. And now LMP is staring down the barrel of a huge legal battle. LMP was a failure. But let's return to our hero, Logan Paul, and his PSA 10 Pikachu illustrator, because that's the incident that has recently plunged this now years-old saga back into the spotlight. In December 2025, Netflix released Season 3 of their show, King of Collectibles, The Golden Touch. This show centers around the founder and CEO of Golden Auctions, Ken Golden. And in Episode 3 of Season 3, Logan Paul agreed to sell his PSA 10 Pikachu illustrator through Golden Auctions.
This card means a lot to me. It is the grail of the #1 popular franchise in the world, Pokémon, right? It's the card. It's the only PSA 10. You will write the check right now? Yes. You got the funds? I'd have to, of course. I have to say, my heart tells me to do this deal with you, and so I will do the deal with you. Great.
This left a lot of people head-scratching, because the last thing anyone had heard about this card is that it was...
Dude, when I first saw that, I'm like, fucking Pawn Stars. Like, to a T. The exact, like, cinematic style, too, and everything about it. And, like, that thing is bullshit, right? It's fake, basically.
My heart tells me to trust you.
Fair enough. All right, here we go.
To do this deal with you, and so I will do the deal with you. Great.
This left a lot of people head-scratching, because the last thing anyone had heard about this card is that it was majority owned by LMP token holders. So it didn't make sense that Logan Paul could then go and auction it off without their consent. This is the inciting incident that has caused Logan Paul to get back into hot water. Selling the most expensive Pokemon card in the world brought a lot of attention back to LMP, and people realized that things weren't adding up. This prompted Logan to make a statement on Twitter, and we are going to go through his post in detail because once again, it's full of lies. Logan states, "As you may know, the PSA 10 Pikachu illustrator was previously listed on Liquid Marketplace, which users could purchase tokens that, according to the company, represented fractional ownership interests in the card. This is such a misleading statement, because while the company did say tokens represent fractional ownership, it wasn't just the company. It was Logan himself as a co-founder.
As a co-founder of Liquid Marketplace, I believe we're set to level the playing field by allowing anyone to own a piece of the world's rarest collectibles. We have the most elusive, top-tier, rarest assets in the world for the entire world.
Never seen before.
So this was a very hard decision to make, but yes, I will be listing this card on a platform that I co-founded called Liquid Marketplace. It allows co-ownership of top-tier assets. So instead of one person, me owning this card, we as a collective can co-own it together.
Explain Liquid Marketplace.
Liquid Marketplace. Okay. What it is.
He sold it twice.
Fractional ownership. So if you want to be a collector and you can't maybe afford an original or a Triceratops skull, you can buy a little piece of it if you believe in the Triceratops skull market.
Logan even directly told Time magazine in April 2022 that Liquid Marketplace allowed people to own top-tier assets.
I do care about the collectible industry, and I want to see as many people own top-tier assets as possible, and this being the vehicle to that made perfect sense.
So it's insane to me that he would pin this representation on the company and not himself. And notice how he said, according to the company, not that tokens actually did represent fractional ownership. He phrased it this way because the representation was false and he knows it. So he can't say the tokens did represent ownership, only that that's what the company told the public. He continues, in May 2024, consistent with the platform's terms, I repurchased the card. I paid a substantial buyout amount to the platform, which was intended to be distributed to fractional owners based on their respective percentages. I was informed at the time that funds had been distributed accordingly. This is where things get really spicy. The LMP website is now defunct and has been for a while, but using the Wayback Machine, I can go and check the platform's terms of service at that time, and these terms are extremely interesting. It says that when the owner of a collectible, called the collector, lists an item on the marketplace, it gets placed into the name of a wholly owned subsidiary of LMP, called the custodian, pursuant to a custody agreement. So the entire collectible gets put into the name of a subsidiary of LMP, which means that now LMP has full control over the entire asset. It then says that when you purchase a token and become a token holder, you shall be deemed to have entered into that custody agreement for that collectible. And what does the custody agreement entail? Well, the custody agreement states that neither the collector nor an individual token holder will have the right to take possession of the collectible or direct the custodian in any manner whatsoever, unless an individual acquires sole ownership of the tokens associated with a collectible. So unless you own 100% of the tokens of a collectible, LMP retains complete control over it. Therefore, the terms expressly stated that Logan had no power to simply buy his card back. However, luckily for Logan, there was a loophole that did allow him to get his card back. The terms also describe the process of a buyout, i.e. someone buying the collectible back from LMP. The terms state that LMP may allow users to purchase all of the tokens associated with a certain collectible without the other token holders associated with that collectible executing a sale, meaning that if LMP decides to initiate a buyout, token holders can have all of their tokens bought from them at any time without them having any power to stop it. The only condition that must be met for LMP
That's already crazy.
buyout is that someone first acquires the minimum number of tokens associated with that collectible, called the buyout threshold. However, the buyout threshold is not a fixed amount. It's literally just whatever LMP decides it is at any given time. The terms even explicitly state that the minimum number of tokens is something that LMP may establish from time to time. LMP could make the threshold 90% one day and 10% the next day, and there is nothing in the terms to prevent them from doing it. So technically, Logan is correct. While the custodian did have full control over the card, and neither token holders nor Logan could do anything to direct the custodian, this didn't mean that LMP couldn't simply decide to sell the card back to Logan at any time. After all, LMP sets the rules. Logan still owned 49% of the card, so all LMP would need to do is make the buyout threshold less than 49%, which they can do whenever they want. And then LMP can simply allow Logan to exercise a buyout at their discretion. And there is not a single thing the other token holders can do about it, which, as we will find out, is exactly what happened. And this is where the beautiful convenience of when Logan Paul bought back his card becomes apparent. That date, May 2024. Gee whiz, that's right before LMP was hit with legal action from the OSC. This was very lucky timing. Logan retrieved his card just before the findings of the OSC's investigation were made public, accusing LMP of defrauding the public with misrepresentation. The reason this is lucky timing is because it is almost certain that Logan's card was a tool in that fraud. And that fact becomes readily apparent when you find out just how much Logan paid to buy back his card. According to a Collect article, Logan told them he bought the card back for $250,000. This is shocking. If the public bought 51% of the card for $2.5 million in 2022, that means on its face, it looks like he purchased it back at 10% of the price in 2024, thus pocketing the other 90%. However, this is probably not what happened. Remember, LMP was lying about how many tokens were sold, and then moving assets to the marketplace for trading without selling out. So it's impossible for us to know exactly how much was actually sold. It's entirely possible that LMP only sold $250,000 of tokens, and Logan bought them all back at the same price. Though if that is the case, it raises another problem. If Logan paid $250,000 to get his card back, it means he was aware of either one of two possibilities. If Logan believed that all of the tokens were sold at $2.5 million, then he must have also believed he was buying them back at 10% of what he sold them for. So at best, it means he was fully aware he defrauded the public of $2.25 million. And to make it clear, the reason I'm saying this would be fraud is because that's what the OSC called it. Logan made misrepresentations to the public to get them to buy tokens, and then kept 90% of that money for himself when he purchased the tokens back. This is the best case scenario. That's the scenario if Logan thought all of the tokens were sold, which is what his company that he was a co-founder of told the public. However, if this scenario is true, why would Logan say his repurchase at 10% of the value was a substantial buyback? That would be a straight-up lie. His buyback would be more accurately described as a complete robbery. The other scenario is that Logan was always aware that only $250,000 of tokens were sold, or maybe even less, and that's why he feels comfortable buying them back at that amount. If less than $250,000 were sold, then his claim of a substantial buyback would actually be justified. And personally, I'm leaning towards this second scenario as being the correct one. Logan would have received the proceeds from the sale of the tokens, as he was giving up his interest in the card. So he should have known how much money he received for it. And when he saw that only $250,000 or less hit his bank account for the card, he would have known immediately that all of the tokens weren't sold. Logan loves to skirt the edges of what is or isn't obviously illegal. This tweet is perfectly crafted to be as technically true as it can be without giving away the fact that he was complicit in the fraud committed by LMP. According to the company, consistent
you could read it right from
exactly
those highlighted
substantial buyback. Technically, these could all be true, and in a vacuum, these wouldn't be illegal. But with the knowledge that Logan co-founded the company and probably had intimate knowledge of what was going on behind the scenes, it leads me to believe he was just as culpable as the other principals listed in the OSC's complaint.
Nobody would add those words unless they knew.
Lines up perfectly with this inference. Though it's even worse.
Wait. Say that again?
Nobody would add those words unless they knew it wasn't true. Like, they wouldn't say, hey, according to that guy, they would just say, this is what it is. But they're like, oh, this company says that. You know, like, why would you add those words? It's because you know it's not true. You're trying to pass the buck, even though it's also your company, right? Like, you founded it, but you're directly lying to people in a fairly transparent, like, technical legalese way, hoping they don't notice.
Like, well, in your mind, like, what's he doing, bro? What's he trying to get away with? Honestly, like, what do you think? Once again, I saw this already.
He's stealing from people. Yeah, he's stealing from people, and the and the thing with fraud is like, it's different from other crimes, like hey, I stole. No, what would be a crime? Like, hey, I didn't know jaywalking was illegal. You know, something like you cross the street, you didn't know the the rules, and they could still hit you with, well, you didn't know the rules, but they're the rules, and you can't claim innocence, right? Like, there's those things, but fraud is like when you're intentionally misleading. So your intention is important in fraud. Like, if you made an accounting mistake, then if you made a mistake, that's a little bit different. But like what he's doing, you could put the pieces together very clearly that there is intent to defraud, and so at that point, fraud is an extremely serious crime. Even though it's a white collar crime supposedly, but and it doesn't get prosecuted as much. but it is a serious felony. So that's if they do choose to hit it, like, yeah, it's very serious.
There's like almost like multiple things happening. For my dumb guy logic, I'm like, okay, at the very least, there's like almost like crowdsourcing a project, but never delivering on it. It's also part of this fucking whole thing where it's like, hey, we raised money for this thing, but it wasn't what we said it was. So thus, that's a fraud on its own, in my humble opinion. Maybe not lawfully, but like at least my normal person sense of things. Like, oh, you said this was the case, but it didn't happen that way. They gave away like the idea of like ownership of some sort of like actual physical property, but that wasn't the case actually. Apparently, it wasn't the actual case, which is like for the simple person, where it's like, oh my god, that's just wrong, straight up.
Yeah, he's done that before too. He's done that with other projects.
I've heard with this guy with Logan Paul.
He doesn't deliver.
Him and his brother too. I've heard that before. You good?
And not delivering could be like, hey, it just didn't work, right? Like you could have a project that fails. That's one thing. But exactly. But it's a little different. Like when projects fail, like it could be because like, hey, you see, this not going to make money, and you're just like, okay, I'm just going to dump this company. But if you're telling people even after they figured it out, and you're like, oh, and you blame this other guy, he's like, oh, he ran off with the money. He's like, I'm gonna pay everybody. Okay, well, you actually do have money to pay everybody, right? Like you actually do have money to fund it to completion. If you're sincere in this, it's not like, hey, I'm broke. I actually can't do this anymore because the company went bankrupt. Like he does have the ability to complete it, and he never has. So it makes it where like, hey, you're promising this, but you're not actually sincere.
Yeah.
So you're lying, right? Like,
yeah. Like the idea of like just wipe, it's actually looks more so like you're wiping your name from it as much as anything else, and thus it looks more criminal when you actually like from the outside look at it. It's like, yeah, why are you trying to like PR wipe your name out of this situation when you are obviously you were selling this idea to other people, quote unquote investors, essentially, right? But as like human to human, you're selling it as a person. It's like, hey, buy up in this place, go this direction. Hey, I didn't like, I'm not a slave owner, right? I didn't make you do this. You're on your own, right? It's like kind of crazy to me on a human level. That's kind of crazy. And
who buys these things? They're mostly like who are aware of these.
Paul.
They're his fans. They're his fans. He repeatedly defrauds his fans because they know about these projects. They hear about them. They're following them. It's like, oh shit, I got to get in on this. And he repeatedly scams his fans. But like, what does his non-fans see? Well, all they see is like, well, this guy has more and more money. He's kind of popular. Yeah. Like there must be something to it, right? Like I don't know. Like there's all this fraud and yeah, he makes some YouTube money. He has a lot of sources of money, but like, yeah, fraud is a big part of it.
Maybe I do more Karl videos because he has more of these in regards to Logan Paul and I think the Paul brothers in general, but I can't say that. I think it's more so Logan and some of the things he's put his face on. Once again, he's probably an idiot himself. He probably has no fucking clue what the fuck they're doing. He's just like, what's the paycheck? All right, I'll do that. Awesome. That's probably his mentality, honestly. But either way, okay, let's continue. Take a little bit more left. Here we go.
And you find out what the actual token holders were told at the time. On May 30, 2024, LMP announced to the token holders that they could vote on if Logan's card would be sent to auction. And a big thanks to Rattle Pokemon for providing me these emails he got a hold of from token holders. Rattle Pokemon has been following the LMP scam since it was launched and was also kind enough to have a call with me to clarify some details. I will put a link to his channel in the description, so subscribe to him if you want to continue following this story and stories like it. As I said, in this announcement, token holders were supposed to vote on if the card should be sent to auction, with the proceeds being split amongst token holders. If 80% of the token supply voted yes, the card would be auctioned off. There are just two problems. The card never went to auction. It was bought by Logan. And secondly, LMP was lying about selling out all of the tokens and putting unsold tokens into LMP platform accounts that were owned or controlled by the LMP principals. So assuming only $250,000 of tokens were sold, that's 10% of the token supply. The rest would have been dumped into LMP controlled accounts, and therefore LMP had control over 90% of the token supply. Thus, this vote would have been a total sham. Whatever LMP wanted to do, they could do just by starting a vote and then voting on whatever outcome they wanted. With the public owning only 10%, they had no say whatsoever. Even with the knowledge this vote was always a smokescreen, it gets even weirder when, after the voting period ended, token holders received an email saying that the card had been bought out. This makes it abundantly clear that this wasn't a real vote, and LMP were just sending out manual emails to make it seem like a vote had happened. But in doing so, they sent out the wrong email. LMP told holders they were voting on whether to send the card to auction, but received confirmation that the buyout vote had ended. These are two different mechanics, and the buyout email was obviously just a template that was supposed to have the buyout value inserted, but never was. The email simply said, token holders have decided to accept the buyout offer of value. What's even funnier though is that around this time, the website was non-functional, so even if there was a proper vote, there wasn't a live platform to do it on. Now let's go back to Logan's tweet, because his next paragraph is the most dishonest yet. According to Logan, unfortunately, after he bought back the card, the company and some of its principals faced regulatory scrutiny, a process in which he has no involvement or insight, as it does not relate to him. This is a flat-out lie. LMP did not face scrutiny after the buyout. An active investigation had already occurred and proceedings were about to be filed. The complaint was filed on the 19th of June 2024, only a couple of weeks after token holders were told their card had been bought out. God knows how long the OSC's investigation took, but we can say for certain that LMP wasn't oblivious to the fact they were being investigated. According to the complaint, it states clearly that over the course of the Commission's investigation, each of the LMP principals attended compelled interviews under oath. So they were actively being investigated and being forced into depositions throughout the investigation. So they were well aware of what was going on. And especially since, as according to the OSC, initially the LMP principals provided false and misleading information to the Commission, hiding the true nature and total amount of money misappropriated for their benefit. Now, before we piece everything together, we need to understand why it was so lucky that Logan Paul bought back the card mere weeks before this complaint was filed. It's because if LMP still held the card at the time of the filing, it would have been functionally impossible to offload it back to Logan. Given that the card was the most expensive asset, and ownership of the card was misrepresented so much to the public, which the OSC labeled as fraud, if they tried to offload the card after this complaint was filed, it would have been seen as retaliatory. It would have been seen as a response to the filing itself. Basically, it would have been perceived by the OSC and the public as a, holy shit, we just got hit with fraud charges, let's immediately sell our most expensive asset that was involved in the fraud before it's seized. This would not have been a good look. That's why it was really convenient that the card was sold just before this legal action was taken. Because now, Logan can claim ignorance. God. Hey, he had no idea his company was being investigated for fraud. He had no idea that his other co-founders were lying to the OSC and misappropriating money. He can claim that he had no idea this was happening, so his buyback was completely in good faith. And that is exactly what he's doing. As Logan Paul stated in his tweet, this regulatory scrutiny only came after the purchase and doesn't relate to him, so he has no involvement or insight. He is just a mere innocent bystander. It's also amazing how with CryptoZoo, Logan was touting how amazing his team was.
By the way, this Karl guy has been sued by other people, I believe, in regards to some of his videos, so thus he might be like, it's sarcasm, but you can hear it as like kind of legalese in a way. It's like protecting his own ass, right? In regards to certain statements. But can you like hear the sarcasm, in my humble opinion? Either way, here we go.
only to then turn around and say they are convicted
he must be
criminals
an
and the
innocent
ones to blame for
bystander.
CryptoZoo's downfall.
Bro, we have a massive team behind it and are probably out of pocket like $1 million just because we believe it's going to work.
On development.
Yeah. A development team that has to be wizards because you're dealing with blockchain, people's money, transactions.
And I know what you're thinking. What type of idiot would work with an unsavory individual like Zach Kelly?
What are those cuts?
I guess that's what I...
What are those cuts, by the way? Yo, young people, honestly. If you're falling for dipshit cuts like this, that was a prepared video, right? Watch the zooms, the zoom ins, the zoom outs, back to zoom ins. It's like, oh my God, are they abusing your psyches? That's all I'm saying. Here we go. Just watch
blockchain, people's money, transactions.
And I know what you're thinking. What type of idiot would work
What are they
with an
doing?
unsavory individual like Zach Kelly? I guess that's what I get for trusting the team that I relied on to vet and manage Eddie's hiring process, who has turned out to be a
He does the same thing every time.
since learned fools billionaires, the Mormon Church, the owner of the New York Yankees, and now me.
And with Liquid Marketplace, Logan also touted how amazing his team and the CEO Ryan Bahadori was when talking with Time Magazine.
Also, real quick, I have to leave and come back. It's lagging. But like, if you watch movies, that's crazy cuts. But 1 second. All right.
That's got to be computer zooming, right? Because no human would do it that way, right?
Well, if you have Adobe and a really good camera or whatever editing software, you can do that. You can. But it looks stupid. It looks very dumb.
Yeah, would you want to?
Well, there's some sort of attention grabbing thing that happens, I guess, for newer viewers of the internet. But all right, here we go.
If you find the right people and the right teams, like when I found Ryan and the gang at Liquid, I was like, okay, these guys have a great head on their shoulders.
But after the OSC accused Bahadori of fraud, suddenly Logan has nothing to do with the company and nothing to say. He does the exact same thing with every single scam he is involved with. It is never his fault, and he never takes responsibility for the actions of the teams he himself built.
Hey guys, my name is Amin Dal, and I'm one of the co-founders of Liquid Marketplace, where my role is to manage everything to do with the company's technology. With the help of my 2 other co-founders, Ron Bahadori and Logan Paul, as well as the rest of our amazing team, we're trying to make this a reality.
Logan also followed up by stating that he recently learned that the platform also experienced operational issues which affected user access to accounts and funds held on the platform. Which is true. The website has been down for years, and most users lost all of their money because it's impossible to make a withdrawal when there is no website to do it on. Apparently Logan is working on bringing the website back online, but we'll have to see what actually happens. Logan said the website could be up and running in 2 to 3 weeks. That was a month ago, and we haven't heard anything since, so I wouldn't hold your breath. We all know what happened the last time Logan promised that a platform was coming.
Trust me, CryptoZoo is coming.
3 years.
I will make damn sure of it.
The question that immediately came to my mind once I pieced everything together was why wasn't Logan named on the complaint if he was complicit? He also lied to the public just like the other principals. And the nature and timing of his buyback suggests to me that he had intimate knowledge of what was going on, that the company was being investigated, and that it was about to be hit with legal action. So if he knew what was going on, lied to the public, was a co-founder of the company, and was instrumental in building the platform, why is his name absent? Well, first I'll just say that I can't prove what Logan does or doesn't know, and exactly how much he knew throughout LMP's existence. I can only infer it based on the information that is public. I can say that the other co-founders committed fraud and misappropriated funds because that's what the OSC found in their investigation. But we don't know if Logan himself took a salary, if he sent money to one of his companies, or how much he was involved in the day-to-day business decisions. We don't know exactly what his involvement was. All I know for sure is that he made misrepresentations to the public about the company and that he's still lying now. But I guess the most likely reason Logan isn't named in the complaint is because he is located outside of Canada. LMP and the 3 principals named are all based in Ontario. So it makes sense that the Ontario Securities Commission named them in the complaint. The OSC does not have jurisdiction over entities outside of Canada, so that makes investigations into entities outside of Canada very difficult. They cannot compel Logan Paul to do an under oath interview like they did with the other founders. They can't compel Logan Paul to produce documents. If the OSC really wanted to investigate Logan Paul, they would have to go through the SEC or DOJ. But when international entities need to work together, this greatly increases not only the time of the investigation, but also the cost. It could take years to subpoena Logan Paul to produce or do anything, and would probably cost even more to investigate than what he potentially stole. Whereas the 3 guys the complaint listed were already within their jurisdiction, so they could compel whatever they wanted and do it quickly and cheaply. So they likely decided it wasn't worth it to go after someone based in the US. Even if the OSC did have the belief that Logan Paul misappropriated funds or was as culpable as the other principals listed, it still might not be worth trying to go after him for it. So that's my guess. And I guess that just like the other 50 scams that Logan Paul has been involved with, this one also won't see Logan facing any legal action. Thank you so much for watching, you legends. I hope you're having a fantastic day.
Okay. He's basically he's kind of saying like, okay, smoke, but the smoke is like acting extra smoke, so thus fire. And by the way, personally, for me, I'm sorry, sorry to Logan Paul, but like, I have nothing to trust your character with. You seem like a robot made by the fucking government to sell people shit, bro. It's my personal opinion of Logan Paul. Nothing actually original, other than like, well, hey, he's a guy in this time period, right? Other than that, like, nah, not really. Nothing of significance in regards to creativity and artwork. Even as like a social heel, kind of, right? A social guy that no one, like, people don't like him, so let's boost him up. I don't even see that as in regards to value. Of course, as a human being, you're valuable, but like, I mean, in the art scenes, which includes wrestling and pop culture, they're included. But either way, okay. I'll leave it there. There's your video. Please subscribe if you feel like. Comment, agree or disagree. Maybe in the beginning with the Andrew Wilson guy, had more room to disagree with versus like this shit, where it's like blatantly, in my opinion at least, the information I saw is like a scheme. But you know what? Yeah, better case with Andrew Wilson and the intellectual version of being fucking stupid. But please tell me in the comment section. Do not forget the share support. Hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Also, please check out the Discord link if you want to join that. We are in that Discord right now. All opinions are welcome, and obviously, everything I show you will be linked in that same description box for you to look at on your own and make your own judgments, I guess. So please do so. Most importantly, I mean most of all time, the most. Give this video a thumbs up. Oh shit!
Do not come.
Oh my.
Do not come.